show you the first ever flowers that I am growing for sale or for profit. It's just in my garden, because obviously the flower farm isn't ready yet and I can't sell anything that I grow on the allotment. So to give it a go this year and see if I can actually sell anything or if I make a profit, I've had to plant some things in my garden, and they're just it's just a small strip, and I have crammed 90 daffodil bulbs into it. So there's a mix which I'll go through, and I'll name them all and why I chose them. I've done them in rows. I didn't use the trench method. When I plant them in the flower farm, I will use the trench method. This time I literally just dug a hole, stuck the bulb in, so they're kind of a little bit higgledy-piggledy and they could go closer together in the flower farm, so I could actually get a lot more in the space if I'd done the trench method. So yeah, so they're starting to come up. I was a bit worried because I had a few that were coming up. Okay, and so I kind of jumped in here because I went on a bit of a ramble that wasn't that relevant, and I just wanted to mention the quality of the soil. You probably saw in the video and the photos that it doesn't look great. It looks very stony, and it's got a lot of moss. So the garden is kind of on a slant, and a lot of the water runs off into the bed. However, these photos show what can grow in that bed, and it's not the worst. It could be better, but it just goes to show you know that even in sort of really bad soil, you can still get things to grow. You just have to kind of work around the conditions that you have. I'll just talk you through exactly what I've planted, and then afterwards my plans for how I'm actually going to sell these, etc. Okay, so the first few I ordered from H.W. Hyde & Sons. This was actually meant to be Acropolis, but it was sold out, so this is Bridal Crown instead. It's a multi-headed daffodil, and it's got these gorgeous double ruffles. Okay, and next up is Orangery. It's a single flowering daffodil, and it's got these gorgeous white petals with a large flared yellow trumpet in the middle. I'm really excited for this one. And then next we have Pink Charm, which is quite a popular one. I think Floret grows it a lot. And it's obviously a single flowering daffodil with a trumpet, a defined trumpet that fades from white to pink. Then next is Cinepal I think it is, and I'm in love with this one. I love green flowers. I've got a real thing about flowers that are really green, and obviously this has a tiny little green trumpet. And then next was just a bog standard double mix I actually bought from B&M, so I'm not expecting anything really spectacular from that. And then next is Preciosus. I probably pronounced that really wrong, and this one was from Farmer Gracie, and I grew this last year and it was gorgeous. The flowers are huge on this. I really love it. And then next from Wilko's actually, and this one is Sir Winston Churchill, and it is very similar to Bridal Crown, which is why I'd originally purchased Acropolis, but I'll still be excited for this one. And then I got Rip Van Winkle, and these were actually on sale at Wickes for £1. They weren't part of my original plan, but I picked them up because I like the fact that they look all spiky, like a cactus dahlia almost. And then the last one is Minnow, and it's just a very simple, small, multi-headed daffodil. And that's it. That's all the daffodils that I've planted so far. Okay, so as you can see, I haven't actually chosen any single standard varieties of daffodils, just because it's not worth it on such a small scale. They sell so cheap. It's like you can get a bunch of 5-6 from Tesco's for £1, so it really makes no sense on a small scale to do standard bunches of daffodils. So instead I've gone for all double or interesting or unusual varieties, and this is just a test really, to see what I can produce and to get some nice photos for the following year, so I can market my actual bouquets and what I'm going to do. What I'm planning with these 90 daffodils is I'm hoping to get at least 3 bouquets with a mix of daffodils, some other flowers and some foliage, and they'll be quite big bouquets. And then what's left, I will do a mixture of probably 5 daffodils, or maybe a bit more. I haven't quite worked out the numbers yet, and some foliage, and I'll do, but not with other flowers, so just smaller bouquets basically. And I haven't quite worked out how I'm going to sell them yet. I have got some long-term plans for selling. For the short term, for these daffodils, I might try a local shop, or I might just try online locally. I've got a few different ideas. So when it comes to it, once they've flowered, well, once they're up and they're ready to be harvested and I've made bouquets, etc., then I will do a video updating on how I plan to sell my first ever flowers. Yeah, and again, they're in the garden, because you're not allowed to sell from an allotment, and the flower farm isn't ready yet. So it's just a test. It's like a small scale test to see kind of what things sell for, if I can sell them, if there's a market online, you know, get sort of feelers out into the local area, being like, you know, there's going to be local flowers growing here for sale, and see what kind of the response is. And yeah, and that's it really. It's nothing major, just a few daffodils. And I'll do a video of me as well arranging those bouquets, because I've got a few things for the larger ones. I've got a few things that I've specifically grown and bought to make those early spring bouquets quite interesting, which can be difficult. I am also working on winter bouquets, getting things ready for winter bouquets, and I'll do a video, but that will probably be much later in the year, but kind of just explaining what I've bought specifically for winter bouquets. And I've got a plan on my sleeves which I don't know if it will work, but I'm going to give it a go, to try and get flowers, British flowers, for Valentine's Day next year. And that will be things not grown in like heated hoop houses or greenhouses, so it's ones that will naturally grow and hopefully be ready for Valentine's Day. But again, that'll be another video. And now I'm off to do some more work on the plot, because the work is never ending.